columnist, there's a saying for columnists, people who write columns, not just sports columns, any columns. Don't bury the lead. When you're a retailer and I walk into your big box or small retail outlet, what are you trying to sell me? Don't be subtle. Direct me where you want me to go for the best goods. When you're a football team, similarly, what are you trying to establish? Don't outthink the room. Don't be subtle. What are you trying to establish? I watched two football teams, Saints and Tampa. One made it clear what they wanted to do, and one was making crap up. Go ahead. Blame Brady. The defense was blame who you want. I don't care. What was that from Tampa? Their first 5 drives, 3 and out. They didn't try to establish a running game. It was a series of odd, low-percentage throws. Did they spend all week babysitting Antonio Brown? I don't know what it was. I mean, Tampa's still 6-3. Almost everybody in the NFL said they'd be 9-7. That's what Vegas thought. So they're on track. They're going to be a 9-10 win team. But it's the way they have looked against Chicago. It's the way they have looked against the Saints last night. And my takeaway was the first 5 drives of the game, what was Tampa trying to establish? They were just making crap up. New Orleans, the Saints came out. Short passes. Get the ball out of Drew's hands. We've got big, rangy receivers. Let's get it out. Protect Drew. I knew exactly what the Saints were trying to do all night. I could watch it. A well-coached football team can have a bad game, a bad half. I get it. But this was a coaching mismatch. This felt like Sean Payton and Drew Brees collectively put their heads together, and Dennis Allen, the defensive coordinator, and it was just a witch's brew of stuff that would work. I don't know what Tampa was doing, and that's on the head coach. And yeah, Brady was bad, but so was the defense, and we know Todd Bowles can coach. That's the responsibility of the head coach. The protection was bad. There was no run game established. It was low percentage throws. And stop worrying about Gronk and AB. Just get the ball to the guys that are open. I still don't think they used Leonard Fournette enough, and I don't think they'd run the football enough. I didn't see any adjustments from Tampa. Like, listen, but we had no preseason. We got COVID. Guys are hurt. Seattle had a bad first half. They were more competitive in the second half. The Kansas City Chiefs had a bad game against the Raiders. It happens, okay? It's a weird year. You know, players can't go out. They're young men. You have bad Sundays. But to not have, I know Tampa was on a short week, but I don't know what they were trying to do. I didn't get any of it. I didn't see any of it. You ever read a newspaper column and you're through with it and you're like, what was she trying to say? What was he trying to say? You go into a store and the feng shui is bad and you're all over it and you're like, what? Go to a grocery store and you're like, lead me somewhere. Take me somewhere. The produce is too close to the cereals, too close to this, too close to that. I got motor oil right next to the apple juice. What is this? Take me somewhere. Take me somewhere as a team. Tampa last night, and this was not my knock on Bruce Arians, has always been this, is that he's fun, he's funny, but his teams are a little loose. They're a little inconsistent. I don't know exactly what I'm getting, and the great coaches will have one on in 30 minutes. I always feel like I knew what Jimmy Johnson, I know what Chuck Noll, I know what Bill Belichick, I know what they want to do. I can see it on television. I watch the game, and I'm like, oh, they have watched film, like Buffalo yesterday. When you watch Buffalo, Buffalo said, we don't respect Seattle's pass rush or secondary. We're not even going to run the ball. We're going to go downfield right at Seattle. I didn't have to be in one film session for the Bills. You could see it within the second series. They attacked Seattle's secondary. They didn't respect it on film. Our receivers are better than their DBs. That's good coaching. I can see it. I know what you looked at as a staff and went, weakness, attack it. Well, you watch Alabama play. Their first 2 series, they'll tell you right out of the gate, this is what they're weak. I watched Notre Dame against Clemson. Notre Dame told you what they thought they could do against Clemson. 3.5 hours. I don't know what Tampa was doing. 5 rushing attempts is the lowest in NFL history, and 1 was a kneel down. What? I mean, they never established anything. So, I mean, blame Brady. Suddenly, Brady can't play quarterback. Todd Bowles doesn't know what he's doing. None of their players are any good. I don't buy that. The culpability is always on the head coach to me because everybody has bad games, but you got to make adjustments. Tampa never did, and here's Tom after.
Turning the ball over against a good team never helps. We just didn't play the way we're capable of playing. Everyone's got to do a lot better, and it starts with me. And, get back to work tomorrow morning and try to make it a better week.
Now, I will say this has been the most inconsistent year ever. I mean, no preseason, so young players are all over the place. I've seen the Titans have a terrible game. Seattle yesterday was awful. I still can't quite figure out week to week what Buffalo is, and I think they're well coached. So I understand inconsistency this year. I totally get it. But the inconsistency that COVID and injuries are bringing us in no preseason, plus the inconsistency historically of Bruce Arians, it makes me worry about this team. Like, about every third game, offensively, I don't know what Tampa's trying to do. All right, let's go to this. The most entertaining football game I think I've seen all year was Miami to Arizona. I'm going to tell you, that was 3.5 hours of just fun. So I told you I was worried about Tua. Tua looks small, and he doesn't have a ton of wiggle, and he's not Kyler Murray. So let me just say this about the game. Kyler Murray was unstoppable against what I perceive as an excellent head coach and a very good defense. Tua did a lot of his stuff against what I consider to be a bad defense, and I don't know about the coaching staff. So what Kyler did against that defense and that coach is way more impressive to contextualize it than what Tua did. But Tua's just playing now for the first time, second game ever. So let's talk about Tua. I thought this league's about head coaches and quarterbacks. When you get a Jimmy Johnson and Aikman, you get a Chuck Noll and a Bradshaw, that's when you win Super Bowls. When you get a Bill Walsh and a Montana, you get a Belichick and a Brady, that's when you win Super Bowls. You get a Coughlin and an Eli in his prime, that's when you win Super Bowls. It's not just the quarterback, it's not just the coach. The combination of Brian Flores and Tua, you should be very excited about. And in the history of the NFL, defensive coaches with great quarterbacks win Super Bowls. Belichick, Brady, Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson. Tua was really impressive. Now, it's a limited defense, but I love what Miami did. They rolled him left. They rolled him right. There were 7-step drops. There were short drops. There was a quarterback draw. He showed, as Trent Dilfer talked about, short space athleticism. What I really liked about Tua, and I've had a couple of coordinators that have dealt with him before, I know at Alabama, is that it's not just being quick physically, but a lot of great quarterbacks or good quarterbacks aren't great because they're not quick instinctively. Is that they don't make really good, quick decisions. And the better the defense, the quicker decision you have to make. You have less time in the pocket, less time before you get hit. I thought the thing that was great about Tua yesterday, he was asked a bunch of times, think quick, act quick, move quick. Aced all of them. And that is something a lot of good quarterbacks can struggle with. Big Ben drives me nuts. When you ramp up the speed against Big Ben, he makes a lot of mistakes 15 years into doing this. But I thought with Tua, I thought they asked him, they moved him around, drop deep, go left, go right. But all the times in that game, and we all know he's accurate. Like, that's the no-brainer. We're never arguing. The comp for him, and we've been on this for 2 years, the comp for him is Drew Brees. He is bizarrely accurate. He's got a beautiful release. He's very accurate. That's never been the issue with him. We know that's good. Like Joe Burrow, he's Tony Romo. His escapability is not under question. Justin Herbert, arm strength. We know Lamar Jackson's quickness. We know certain things. Tua's accuracy, that's not up for debate. He throws an incredibly accurate football. But I thought yesterday, just the ability to do multiple things, throw from multiple spots, to make really quick decisions in the red zone. It's a cluttered space. I thought he was great on that. I thought he was fantastic on it. And that's what I worry about. Now, he's going to play better defenses. But if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, what you saw yesterday, I thought Flores had a great day as a football coach. I thought he had a great game plan, good adjustments, and I thought Tua passed the eyeball test, accuracy test, make a quick decision test, sprinkled the ball around. He didn't get locked into one guy. He gave it to a lot of different guys. That was fantastic. Brian Flores afterwards.
And I thought he made a lot of plays for us. A lot of big plays for us, especially